I think is it my tease or yours? No, you did the last story, so it's my tease.
It is, in fact, your McTee, new from McDonald's.
Look, we need more listeners. Like, subscribe, and follow. This is True Really News.
And howdy.
Coming up on this episode, and you're going to want to hear this or see it or hear it. Yes.
You're going to want to somehow or another, through whatever form you choose, take in this information.
The Flathead Beacon Police Blotter.
Man, that sounded just painful.
Probably is for some of us.
I have to take the stories intravenously now. I'm older.
Sheila.
This is True Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Vercanis. All the news you're about to hear is true.
Really?
As far as you know.
Florida woman.
Oh, boy.
Florida women often are seen with Florida men, and we get that, okay? A Florida woman battered a convenience store clerk with a pair of Slim Jim beef sticks after being accused of shoplifting, according to police.
Are they the really long ones so she can hit them from across the counter?
You don't want to be
the really short ones where
you have to be up close and personal.
Yeah.
Only cowards use the long ones.
Those are distance weapons. What are you talking
Real men. When you're being beaten with a beef stick, real men want to see your face. See, this is why we don't work, because you go off on a tangent and I follow right along like a frickin' puppy.
Beef stick flogging. I think that's going to be a new fetish.
Or an Olympic sport.
I would pay to watch that.
Cops allege that 40-year-old Casey Brazil was confronted by the female victim Monday afternoon at the exit doors to the store, which is right next to the Citgo gas station.
You grabbed some Slim Jims without paying for them.
Brazil pushed the victim to get past and then smacked the 34-year-old clerk with two Slim Jims.
That's twice. It's like swinging two bats
that she was stealing.
Wow.
Officer Joshua Kokazel was the Pinella Park Police Department guy that had to take this all. I'm betting he was loving life at that point. The clerk wasn't injured in the Slim Jim attack, and police did not seize the beef sticks as evidence.
And he had to tell his girlfriend, I got gymmed at work today.
What do you tell you leave work and you go home and you tell your significant other, man, I was beaten up with Slim Jims today. That's just not...
There's a problem with that young
And
Florida
if there's
man.
a little light that goes on in his eye, get out of the house.
Right?
Brazil reportedly admitted to the battery after being read her rights. She is charged with battery, theft, and resisting a merchant. Brazil is being held in the county jail in lieu of $2,600 bail.
Let's talk about this resisting a merchant thing. Does that mean every jerk that comes to try to sell me something on the sidewalk, I've got to take it?
No. It means you can't walk out of the place of business with some of their stuff that you didn't buy.
Well, good Lord, man, I'm not going to do that.
No, you wouldn't, because you're a law-abiding citizen.
That'd be me.
Wow, that was hard to say. Brazil, who is alternately described as a transient or a St. Petersburg resident in court records.
A transient St. Petersburg.
Come on, either she's trans or she doesn't.
I knew.
Although in this day and age, it brings on a whole new meaning, so forget
it. Doesn't it, though?
Yeah. Anyway, Brazil has another frequent flyer.
Record.
It's a rather lengthy rap sheet that includes several state prison stays and convictions for cocaine possession, burglary, trafficking in stolen property, and theft.
Wow.
This would be the first assault with a Slim Jim, though.
You'd think she would have figured it out early.
So she's branching out.
Yeah, well, I'm diversifying my portfolio, she told the police.
I'm just trying to think. There has to be a better weapon, but I'm not sure there is.
Well, my big problem is somebody whips a beef stick at me. I'm going to go, oh, Slim Jim.
I need one. Hang on.
Yeah, exactly. So off to the Flathead Beacon Police Blotter, unless you're not
with that too.
Okay. I want the blue raspberry.
Just don't get a red one, because that would...
No.
8:18
a.m. A friendly pigeon appeared to be struggling, and someone wanted to know what law enforcement could do about it.
Okay.
8:35 a.m.
Emergency, everyone to get from street.
It's a friendly pigeon.
You got to watch the Russians are coming in.
Struggling. 8:35 a.m. A woman reported she thinks she went on a date with a terrorist a year ago. Wonder if the terrorist was dressed as a pigeon.
Or a Russian.
Hey,
a Russian pigeon.
Pigeon. Them's the worst kind.
They coo with a Siberian accent.
Which is to say, it's silent. Oh, what was I reading? It was,
I don't know. Kirill Kaprizov, pretty chatty.
Right.
And he's from Siberia.
It was at one point measured 87 degrees below zero without wind chill in someplace in Saskatchewan, I think far north. And you could hear people from 4 miles away.
Yep. Your breath was actually just dropping ground when you breathe.
Yep.
When you're outside, the breath was just dropping, frozen to the ground.
Yeah, you were snowing every time you breathed.
Right there.
8:36 a.m. A caller wanted to get a hold of the Los Angeles Fire Department.
So I'm going to call 911
locally in Flathead
to get the LA
Fire Department.
That'd be like calling City Hall because your electricity's out.
Right?
Oh, they do, by the way. They do.
10:50 a.m. Someone stole $40 from a tip jar. What's a tip jar doing out at 10:50 a.m.? Where do they have a tip jar at 10:50 in the morning?
And how in God's name did it have money in it?
Well, maybe it was at a fast food place that serves breakfast. Because I've seen tip jars all the time now.
Oh, I've never seen those.
When I go to Caribou, they always have a tip jar out. Now it's tossed.
I very rarely see people anymore. It's just kiosks.
There is that. 11:45 p.m. A man sitting on the curb said he'd move along just as soon as he got his shoes on. But that could take a while.
Why?
He was too intoxicated to tie them.
Well, that is a problem.
1:37.
So public drunkenness and going barefoot is now a reason to call 911.
Exactly. 1:37 p.m. A man with a hurt knee sat down in a snowbank and waited for someone to bring him some ice. I think it was the guy from 11:45, honestly.
He stopped for a couple?
Yeah, probably.
This is AM, by the way.
Right.
This is all happening before lunch. I
11:40.
tell you, those folks in Flathead, they can party and party.
They know what they're doing.
No, they don't have a clue. But I'm guessing they're not that much different than anywhere else.
Yeah, there are some things I've seen that are just spectacularly weird.
I'd like to say stupid, but I mean, it's a dead horse. Why keep beating it? Volusia County, Florida officials are baffled.
Back in Florida.
We can't get away from there.
Florida people baffled.
Honestly, it is warmer.
Wish we could baffle some of them.
And here we are in Minnesota because we just aren't that bright. And our ancestors were idiots. Look, Melvin, it's got the same lovely climate we left at home.
No, it's worse here than it is there.
I know, but look down there. It's warmer. No, we're staying here, damn it.
Because we like it colder.
You sure, Mildred?
Riffraff.
You want to eat tonight? Yeah, I'm sure. Volusia County, Florida officials who are warmer than we are baffled by an object that has been unearthed at Dayton Beach Sands. You want to check it out and go to clickorlando.com. In the aftermath of Hurricanes Ian and Nicole, the 80 to 100 foot long structure appeared partially buried in the sand, says the Volusia Beach Safety Deputy Chief Tammy Malfers. Wow, that's a long frickin' business card you got. She said, we're not sure what it is, adding that she'd been on the beach for 25 years and had never seen it before. That's got to be a little bit frightening. This has been here the whole time? I've had my kids out here. The storms caused unprecedented beach erosion. An archaeological team from the state is expected to visit soon to study the object. This was the end of November. How long do you suppose soon is, according to archaeologists?
Well, if they're talking to geologists, pretty long time.
I'm thinking archaeologists wouldn't be that much. It's like, well, hell no, we don't even have to dig it. We just have to brush it with that little brushy things. It's taking out the fun out of it.
Get a leaf blower. Oh, no.
You have another story or not?
Yeah. I've got.
Leap
Let's go
right
on
in
to
there. Go right
things that
ahead.
got people fired.
Otherwise, we have an awkward silence that will be filled with stupidity.
Guy lied about knowing how to drive a forklift. First thing he did was drive it into a support beam.
That's not good.
No, he got fired.
They call them support beams for a reason. Keeps the roof up there and the floor
not
down here. Yeah.
Instead of putting them both within, millimeters of each other. The new guy took a lobster out of the tank and removed the elastic bands on its claws, then proceeded to put it back in the tank. The thing murdered all the other lobsters in the tank.
Why would it do that is what you're asking. Why would you do that? Because they're lobsters. And they can.
Boy, that was expensive. Lobster ain't cheap. Maybe he was the same guy who did the lobster heist a couple of years ago.
You would think he would have learned by then.
Right? Well, he's just working on a smaller scale.
That's true.
Because that was a whole truck full of lobsters.
He's on work release. That would just be sad.
Don't let it. He has a court order to stay away from any shellfish. I got a job as a waiter at a new restaurant. I didn't know that scrubbing floors on my hands and knees was part of my job description as a waiter, but I did it anyway. By the time 3:30 p.m. rolled around, none of us had gotten any breaks. So I asked the boss if I could take a lunch break. He said, "Yeah, I'll give you a break. You're fired."
Moments later, the phone rang.
Yeah, bold prediction. This restaurant will fail.
There's a lawsuit coming now. It'll suck whatever money you have laying around and more.
I was on a committee to hire a new 5th grade teacher. I was showing her the ropes and monitoring her class behavior. I watched her tell a student, "I don't like you very much. Figure it out yourself."
Well, that's rude.
Right?
Wow.
And finally,
thank you.
Long story short, as a manager for Space Shuttle Atlantis post-Columbia, had a new hire that violated safety rules 3 times in his first morning. Then broke another rule after lunch about tool securing and dropped a wrench 150 feet onto Atlantis, resulting in $3.3 million in time, scans, materials to recertify the impact area for the flight.
So I'm going to go with a theory. He didn't have a second day on the job.
No. His first day was full.
You can only do so much in one day. And I think he did.
He reached his limit.
Reached their limit. Although it is a government agency, he might still be working there.
They moved him up in the ladder of hierarchy.
Now he's management.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.